So you can bring a boy, but I can't bring no girl around.
No.
So I'm paying $1,500 in child support and I can't see my baby.
No.
What's up, everybody? My name is Mel, and welcome to Life Coaching by Mel. Here at Life Coaching by Mel, we speak truth. I'm not referring to your truth, my truth. I'm referring to the Lord's truth. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit this comment section. Let me know what you think about this amazing topic we're about to have here. The channel is growing very rapidly. I need your help here to help the channel grow even more. I have a goal I want to meet within the next couple months of 10K subscribers. So I need your help getting me there. Subscribe and also share this with anyone that you may know. Everyone you may know, by the way. Everyone can be affected by this topic, and everyone can be introduced to my channel, and it may help them understand a higher level of thinking based on the things we discuss here. So be sure you're sharing and helping the channel grow. Guys, today we're going to have an amazing conversation about parental alienation. It's a term that my friend Seiko Woods actually introduced me to, and I thank him for that. And something I've been doing a little research on. And I now have a newfound interest in this particular topic because this is something I've experienced my entire life. And I want to give you guys the background and a little bit of story and a little bit of vulnerability from me to see how you can go from parental alienation to now discovering a new side of yourself and being over the hump of that and being able to help others get out of that hardships that come with parental alienation. So guys, be sure you stick around to the end of this video. We can go over that. And also, guys, I have something amazing I want to share with you guys. If you are a fan of the show or a supporter of mine, I have some great news I want to share with you about my personal life. Be sure you stay to the end of this, guys. But I have a video here, guys, I want to share with you of a mother refusing to allow the father to see their child.
Baby, why you come out here without my baby?
And why are you recording me? Baby in the house.
Why you come out here without my baby?
Don't you got a girlfriend? Why don't y'all go make a baby?
What that got to do with my baby? Cause I got a girlfriend. What that got to do with my baby?
I don't want her around my kid.
But if you got a boyfriend, it's cool. So you
Why
can bring
are you
a boy.
worried about me? What the fuck?
So you can bring a boy, but I can't bring no girl around.
No.
So I'm paying $1,500 in child support and I can't see my baby.
No.
See
what?
See?
Why the fuck is you recording me? See what? See what?
Don't have kids. Y'all don't have kids.
You weird.
Don't have kids.
$1,500
in child support.
And you weird.
$1,500 child support. I can't see my baby.
No.
$1,500
in the house. You can see the baby, but not her.
So where's she at?
In the house.
So go get her.
No. You can go see her. I'm not gonna go get nobody. It's cold out here.
$1,500 in child support.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about I got a girlfriend. I can't see my baby because I got a girlfriend. But
No,
you got a boyfriend. But
okay,
you got a boyfriend.
So what?
Don't have kids, bro.
No, you don't have kids.
Y'all don't have kids.
You don't have kids.
Y'all don't want nobody like her. Don't have kids, bro.
So to my listening audience, of course, you don't see what's going on here. The visual of this woman. It's a woman leaning inside this man's car. And the most vivid thing I see on this woman, besides the baby hair, is this demonic almost smile that she has on her face. It's a very evil smile. Essentially, this woman is enjoying this moment. This is something that is bringing her pleasure to see her baby's father in anguish. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a premise that I really want to lean on here with this particular topic. I believe a lot of parents, and let's really be honest about this, a lot of mothers use their children as pawns. Their children to them are viewed as an object. Their children are used as something to lord over the spouse or lord over the other parent. What they are actually upset about or what they are actually making the issue is not a true issue. The children are only being used to make this person upset and to make this person's life miserable. Why? Because that person is miserable. The mother is miserable. Or the other parent that's using this child is miserable. They haven't moved on with their life. They haven't got themselves in a position where they have moved past the relationship issue that they had. They're using this child as leverage. Because you see this happen so many times. It's basically whatever he wants, I'm going to make sure he don't have it. So the fact that he wants a child in his life, oh no, you can't see your child unless you are within my parameters or feeding to my system. But let's say he didn't want to be in this child life. Oh, you need to be in your child life. I'm putting you on child support. I'm sending my brothers over to kick your ass. I'm doing whatever I need to do to draw your attention because I need to ruin your life. It's not about the child whatsoever. The child is just a bargaining chip for them to get what they want. And what they want is to bring misery. They want to hurt the other parent the way they believe they have been hurt. But I know. A lot of people may say, yeah, it's just her, not all. This is just one instance. You lying, first of all. But secondly, I have another example. Let's take a look.
Not to be with me, you moved on with her, and you moved on. So let me move on with me and my child. I don't want you in the delivery room. It's too much on me just to see you with somebody else. Let me and my baby go on.
So I decided to move on.
Yes.
I did not cheat on you. I did not do any of that. I still was provided for the family. It doesn't matter. But to you, it does not matter for me to be a father in my child's life.
No.
Guess what? I'm going to still be there.
No.
And guess what? None of that for the Guess what? Even with her, we both going to be raising our child.
Another woman.
That got nothing to do with you. That is my decision. And I'm the father of the child.
You can be with her. Do what you have.
Yes, and I'm going to be with her, and our child going to be with her as well. Whenever I'm there.
You're not going to be a part of this baby's life because you done found someone else, and you didn't take me and the baby with you and move on with us. So you with her. Just keep on.
And you heard about that. I don't care about none of that. Guess what? I'm going to be in my child's life.
Another situation of a man deciding to move on with another woman, and now the mother is saying you can no longer be a part of your child's life. Someone tell me, how is this actually ethical? How is this something that people can sleep at night after doing something of this magnitude? I think being a parent is one of the most essential things a human being could do in their lives. To try to strip this away from someone to bring pain towards them, first off, shows the evil of you, but secondly, shows the evil of you based on not caring how the effects happen on your child. There's nothing more selfish than this, in my opinion. The thing that only rivals this a little bit is a mother saying, hey, this is your child, knowing that it's not the man's child. And I'm not trying to make this a gender thing because this is 100% a dual ownership when it comes to the wrong in this matter. I've yet to find an answer to this question. How do we expect success from things that God ordained and God formed when we don't do it God's way? God formed marriage. God formed family. God formed childbearing. How do we expect success from those areas? How do we expect to see fruit from those areas when we continuously do it outside of his will? He has a distinct plan and a distinct order for how this thing functions. And we do it out of order. And now we wonder why all hell is breaking loose. So by no means am I blaming one party or the other. Both are culpable and both are responsible for why this thing has gone the way that it is. But if we do narrow the conversation just a little bit, we do know once things happen, we are here. There's nothing we can do to put the toothpaste back in the tube. We're now here. What do we do? And who's more responsible? Who's more accountable for what issue we have at this time? But in this particular case, we do know that this is something that's handled more and done more by women because women are primarily the custodial parents across America. So let's not speak around this. Let's not talk about something that's not actually true. Let's look at this for what it is. What is it that empowers women to do this? What is it that makes a woman believe that I can strip this man of fatherhood because of the decisions that he's making for himself? We went into this situation as individuals, if you're, especially if you're not married. So what makes you believe that you can strip me from what I am responsible for? What makes you believe that you can use my child as a pawn? And not to be too religious here or too deep, but I do want to talk about this story real quick because it reminded me of a story in the Bible that my wife and I were just talking about. We heard the story a lot as kids, but we don't talk about the story too much now. Need to bring back Sunday school, I think. I'm just joking. If you remember in 1 Kings chapter 3, there was a story of two prostitutes that came to a king. Both of these women had newborn babies, and one of the women smothered her baby while sleeping one night and woke up to the baby being dead. So what did she do? She took her dead baby and went out and switched it with the other woman's baby while that woman was asleep. So now this woman woke up to a dead baby, and the other woman is now claiming the live baby as hers. So now they're in front of the king, and the woman who has the live baby is like, look, this lady has stole my baby. Her baby died, and she's now claiming my baby as hers. They're going back and forth. The king doesn't know who to believe. And he says, look, bring me a sword. Let's cut this baby in half. You'll have one half of the baby. You'll have the other half of the baby. Now, the mother who the baby actually was, she said, no, don't cut my baby. Let her have the baby. If it means that you're going to cut my baby in half, I don't want it anymore. I would rather my baby live than to be cut in half. But the other lady was like, hey, it's only right. I agree to it. Hey, let's go ahead and cut it. You have one half. Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. So then the king realized, hey, that's the real mother. The one that doesn't want to sacrifice his baby, that's the real mother. Give her the baby. The truth of the matter is, because this lady baby was dead already, she didn't care about another baby dying. She wanted somebody to be included into her misery. And that's what I'm pointing to with these mothers that are doing these to these fathers. I believe the kids are just a pawn in order for them to include the father into their misery. I describe most mothers of today like reptile mothers. If you notice, a reptile doesn't give a damn about their child. They'll birth them, crack the eggs, and hey, you on your own. They only care enough if it means something that benefits them. As opposed to a mammal, i.e. a mama bear, a mama dog. They will nurture those babies till they're fully developed in order to move on their own. We have far too many reptile mothers in our society today. And I'm going to lead you to my story. Because the first time I said that term, reptile mother, unfortunately, I said that about my mother. Because growing up, I realized I was just a cog in her overall plan and her overall strategy. I think about moments where I was used for her to have some type of financial gain, whether it be a scheme or scam that she was playing on the government or playing on doctors or playing on our neighbors. One way or another, I was always put in a position to make her more money. But frankly speaking, the number one person that I was used for her to scam against was my father. My parents were married about 30 years, and they would say probably 30 years too long. It was a horrible, tumultuous relationship, and the kids saw every piece of it. I know a lot of people say, well, you don't know what your parents went through. Well, I did. Not only did they argue in front of us, but they will each come to me in particular for some type of sounding board for whatever they were going through. And as they got divorced, I've talked about on the channel before, I took my mother's side, wholeheartedly took my mother's side, and essentially I alienated my dad. And I'm a grown man at that point. However, I fully leaned on my mom and ignored everything I remembered about their relationship and fully just took her side as she was the victim in the situation. Because she completely sold me the narrative that my dad did her wrong. This is what he did to me. This is how he's always felt about you guys. Completely sold a narrative that my dad was in the wrong. He's the one that destroyed our family. So with the phrase parental alienation, the first thing that clicked to me was like, yeah, of course, that's what happened to me. And let me define that for you guys, for those who are not aware. Parental alienation is the manipulation of a child to reject one parent or the other. The manipulation of a child to reject one parent or the other. And that's exactly what happened during the divorce. But the more I thought about it and began to really process what parental alienation does to children, which I will go over here in just a moment, I've realized that I was alienated from my dad throughout those 30 years of marriage. And when you do your research on parental alienation, you find that more often than not, this happens during the divorce proceedings, just like it happened for me. So I thought. But in all actuality, your parent can be living there with you in a two-parent household, and you still are being alienated from your parent. You're still being manipulated to believe that this parent is the evil one or is the cause of every issue we have as a family. For example, and this happened for me, it's true for me, but I want to know if it's true for you guys. How many times have you heard your parent say something horrible about the other parent and then tell you that you remind them of that parent? In my case, my dad would walk around the house, my mom would call him ugly all the time, just out of nowhere, call him ugly. And then a day later or so, like, boy, you look just like your dad. Well, I guess I'm ugly then. When you hear nothing but bad things about a parent, the kid began to believe, if they're so bad, what does that make me? Because what parents seem to forget is that this horrible person that you're describing is still half of this child. Half of my representation is something that you view as the worst thing in the world. So what that begins to do for that child, they internalize all that anger and all that vitriol that you have towards that parent. They make it about them, and then they lash out. And here are 10 signs of parental alienation. Here are 10 signs that more than likely the child is suffering from parental alienation. Number one is anger. You see a child that's expressing anger towards a parent, not even ever around a parent. All you hear is negative things coming from that child regarding that parent. That's a huge sign of parental alienation. Number two, lack of self-esteem and lack of self-confidence. What you don't like about my parent is half of me. So how does that build my self-confidence? How can I be 100% confident in who I am, in the innate things about me? How can I be confident in that when you tell me my DNA is half tainted. Lack of impulse control. So because they have that anger within them, they lash out. So they can easily start fights, easily be abusive in one way or another. Separation anxiety. You see kids who refuse to go to school or go to spend the night. Not that I agree with spending the night, but refuse to be alone without that parent. That's a huge sign of parental alienation. And that leads over to number 5, fears and phobias. You have kids that sometimes will fake an illness, or they may have a weird fear that makes no logical sense whatsoever. It's just they're creating something in their mind. Number 6, depression and suicidal thoughts. I was formerly a youth pastor, and I can't tell you how many kids I came across that had slices on their arms or told me instances where they wanted to take their life. And I remember vividly one particular Sunday where we just dropped the lesson and we just talked about what is going on in their lives as a whole. It was like 80% of the kids had father issues or lack of a relationship with their fathers. And knowing their mothers, you know, in my mind, I was like, there had to be some form of parental alienation or just lack of relationship building that's going on between those two parents. Oftentimes during the divorce proceedings or during the separation of the relationship, the kids are just an afterthought and they're being fed only one side of the story. So they lean into depression. They lean into those suicidal thoughts because they can't take the brunt of the decisions that these adults are making. Number 7, sleep disorders. Number 8, eating disorders. Number 9, problems in schools. And number 10, drug and alcohol abuse. Now, there can be kids out there that have each of these 10 and not be suffering from parental alienation. However, we should never rule out that this is a possibility. It seems like people go all around the world searching for what is going on with the kids and not want to point to the parents. Let's not make this rocket science. But what makes this topic so important to me is because of the great news I want to share with you guys. My wife and I are now 15 weeks pregnant as of today of this video. And this has been a journey for us. We've gone through a lot trying to conceive. And the moment we've totally released it and gave it to God, things has been happening rapidly and 100% unexplainable other than saying it's the Lord. But I'm extremely grateful to be a father. My wife is doing an incredible job. She's a powerhouse of a woman. I'm so grateful to have her in my life and for her to be the mother of my child. But I say this emphatically about the content that I do. I want to be the change I want to see. And I see a lot of things, specifically in the Black community, that happens that affects family. It's been a complete demolition of the standards that have been set in place from our ancestors. When we wonder why there's no self-respect, we wonder why things are continually to decline when it comes to a morality standpoint, when it comes to spiritual standpoint, it's because the family has been destroyed. The family dynamic has been completely destroyed and has been completely devalued. What our ancestors leaned on was faith and family to get them through every issue. And I think that that's still the case. If you do it that way, things still work. Here in America, I think America is completely focused on capitalism and completely focused on money more than anything. So the best way to find success in America, in my opinion, and it's been proven throughout the history of this country, is to graduate high school, get married, have children in wedlock, and build together. Will that make you wealthy? I'm not saying that's the case, but it will bring you fulfillment. I've seen that on my level, and I've talked to couples in their 80s, and they realized everything else they chased in this world did not bring fulfillment. I want to say this specifically to the men. We can't expect women to follow us and to do things the right way when we're not following God. It's just not going to happen. If you're doing things out of the will of God, your life is going to be in shambles, and everyone else under you will be in shambles. Yes, you are the head, and they follow you no matter what. Whether we like it or not, they are following us. They're following our lead. If we have a woman that's disorderly, it's because we are disorderly. If we have children that are disorderly, it's because we are disorderly. We are men. God holds you to a higher standard. It's hard to say, it's hard to receive, but he holds us to a higher standard. So if we want to see fruitfulness within our families, within our communities, we have to submit ourselves under God. And once we do, the people who follow us will submit themselves under us. There's an order to family. There's an order to marriage. There's an order to conceiving children. When we do things out of order, we get the results of the videos we saw here today. I hope this message inspired anyone and everyone to really yield yourself to God and quit the madness. You see the results that it's getting us. If you want to see change, be the change you want to see. Let's grow.
Let's go.